Welcome, everyone, and a special welcome to our listeners in the chiropractic field.
Yeah, hello.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into something we call the Making Connections brand superpower.
It's a really important one. And just to frame it, it's one of 4 key ways your brand can really resonate.
Right. We've got others we'll cover, providing structure, inspiring greatness, initiating action. Those are for other deep dives.
But today, it's all about connection. And the really crucial thing for you to think about right from the start is, well, this isn't about your personality type.
No, not at all.
It's about strategy. Smart branding is deliberate. It's about figuring out what truly connects with the patients you want to serve.
And how you can stand out authentically to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the big question we want you to hold on to as we talk through this is making connections the superpower your audience, your ideal patients, are actually craving?
Yeah, is that what they're looking for? So let's really unpack this whole making connections idea. Fundamentally, it's about creating emotional resonance. It's about building those genuine human relationships.
And fostering a real sense of community
Right.
around your practice.
Absolutely. Brands that use this superpower, they're driven by these heart-centered values,
Right.
things like deep empathy
Through inclusivity. Yeah.
and really valuing shared human experiences. The goal, ultimately, is making people feel truly seen.
Genuinely heard and completely supported on their wellness journey.
And within this broader making connections superpower, we often see it show up in a few key ways. We talk about archetypes.
Right. The caregiver, the neighbor, and the lover archetypes. And they're all really focused on building bonds.
Creating those safe spaces where people feel like they belong.
Yeah. And for a chiropractor, like embodying the caregiver, that might look like offering slightly longer appointments.
Not just for the adjustment itself, right?
Exactly. But to actually listen, to hear their concerns, maybe educate them a bit, it shows you care about their overall well-being beyond just the immediate issue.
And when a brand really gets this right, when they nail this making connections approach, some pretty powerful things happen.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the emotional intelligence that comes across,
These brands just get their patients on a much deeper level.
which naturally builds incredible loyalty and just a real sense of warmth around the practice.
And that's what leads to those long-term, meaningful relationships we're all kind of looking for in practice.
Yeah. Plus, the way they talk, their messaging, it tends to feel very inclusive. It makes a wider range of people feel genuinely welcome, valued.
But like any approach, there can be potential downsides or challenges to watch out for.
Of course. There's always a flip side. With this one, sometimes we see a tendency maybe to overgive.
Right, where boundaries can get a little blurry.
Yeah, it can be tough to maintain healthy ones. And maybe, sometimes, a perception of less structure if that focus on the heart connection isn't balanced.
Balanced with clear, reliable processes. That makes sense.
And another thing, because the instinct is often to be so welcoming to everyone, it can sometimes be a bit harder to carve out a really distinct, memorable position, in a crowded market.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But a chiro leading with this, they can manage that risk, say, of overgiving.
How so?
Well, maybe by offering different service packages, right?
Yeah.
Clearly outlining what's included. So you get the connection and sustainable practice management.
Right, balancing the heart with the business side. Good.
But when it's done well, the ultimate goal is definitely achieved. You nurture that real sense of belonging.
You build deep, lasting trust
And you really do transform patients from just, people coming in for an adjustment.
into a real community, a supportive community around your practice.
Yeah, a thriving one.
And think about the kinds of practices that often naturally lean into this superpower.
Okay.
We see it a lot, where the priority is really on emotional well-being and the relationships themselves, like therapists, maybe doulas, life coaches,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Makes sense. People focused on support.
It's also really common in businesses built around strong local communities. Your neighborhood coffee shop, maybe, or a really engaging group fitness program.
Yeah, that neighbor feel.
And then you've got services that are just deeply personalized, where that human touch is absolutely central.
Like maybe a concierge medical practice.
Yeah,
Or a boutique wellness studio.
exactly. High touch, high connection.
So it really boils down to what your ideal patients are looking for, doesn't it?
It always does. They'll gravitate towards these making connections brands when what they really need is support.
Or that sense of connection in their care. Or maybe just feeling emotionally safe when they're dealing with health stuff.
Right. It's recognizing that for a lot of people, maybe even most people, the emotional side, the relational piece of their wellness journey, It's just as vital as the physical fix they're seeking.
And that's totally okay. That's a key point here, having a softer brand, one that really leans into these human connections. That's not a weakness.
Not at all. It's an incredibly valid and powerful strength,
Yeah.
especially if you're talking to the right audience.
That's really the heart of strategic branding, isn't it? Understanding you don't have to be, you shouldn't be everything to everyone.
Precisely. So let's make this really concrete for our Chiro listeners.
Yeah.
Let's look at a couple of examples of practices that really live this making connections superpower.
Great idea.
Okay, first one, A Live Wellness Center. Even the name, right? Always living in vibrant energy. It hints at something holistic,
Yeah, it does.
but it's how they've actually built their whole brand experience that makes them a great example. They strategically use longer appointment times.
And that signals something important to the patient, doesn't it?
It signals they're valued as a person, not just a 15-minute slot.
Mm,
And that directly builds that deeper connection and ultimately loyalty.
absolutely. So Alive isn't just about, expert adjustments, although they have that. It's where that high skill level meets a genuinely heartfelt connection.
You can feel it.
Yeah. The founder is deeply invested in both the clinical side and the patient's whole well-being. They've created a kind of pair that feels, well, different today.
More spacious.
Exactly. Appointments are intentionally longer. That creates space not just for the physical work, but for patients to rest, maybe have an emotional release if needed.
Or just feel seen, acknowledged as a whole person.
Right. And they found that sometimes the biggest shift isn't physical at all, it's emotional.
And sometimes just holding that space for someone is the most therapeutic thing you can do.
Totally.
And you see this visually too, right? In their branding, they move from a more maybe standard logo.
To this really beautiful stylized sun, it's more elevated, it's just radiance, restoration.
It visually backs up that feeling of energy and clarity patients talk about after visits.
And their colors, that deep navy and rich gold, they communicate this calm elegance, trustworthiness.
While the soft neutrals in the clinic itself create that peaceful, restorative backdrop, it all works together.
And their core message really sums it up. We don't just care for you, we care about you.
That's powerful.
And it's not just a tagline, it feels like the guiding principle for everything. Patients don't feel rushed.
Like they're just a number on the schedule.
Exactly. They feel well honored, listened to, supported on their own path. From the waiting room to the treatment rooms, even having time for quiet reflection after the adjustment.
Every little detail.
Yeah, every element feels personal, peaceful, nourishing. It's designed to be more than just a clinic. It's like a place to come home to yourself.
It's a great description. Okay, second example. Ondaki Chiropractic.
Ondaki. Okay.
What's really interesting here is how they've positioned themselves. It's almost like not just a practice, but a movement.
A wave of positive impact.
Exactly, which fits their name perfectly.
Tell us about the name Ondaki.
Right, it blends onda, meaning wave.
And ki, like life force or vital energy.
Precisely. So it evokes this feeling of these unseen positive healing currents radiating outwards.
Cool. And who are they focused on serving?
Dr. Steve, the founder, has this deep respect for educators. So Ondaki's core mission is really specific, serving those who serve others.
Like teachers, mentors, school staff.
Yeah, anyone whose well-being kind of ripples out to affect future generations.
Well, that's a powerful focus.
And their logo visually captures this perfectly. The O in Ondaki, it's designed as a stylized ripple, centered with just a single gentle drop. It symbolizes that quiet but really powerful and lasting impact of their care, starting from the center and moving outward.
It's not about being loud then, it's about lasting change.
Exactly. Enduring positive change.
What about the visual feel,
Yeah.
colors and such?
Very earthy. Think rich forest green, warm clay brown, soft grounding neutrals.
Ah, nice. Anchoring.
Totally. It evokes calm, natural growth, deep trust, feels nurturing, but also wise, which really fits that audience of educators.
And probably connects to their location too, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Colorado.
Absolutely. Reflects that natural landscape beautifully.
And their core message.
Start a ripple. Simple, but profound.
More than just a tagline again.
Oh, yeah. It's their underlying philosophy. They genuinely believe every interaction, every adjustment, every conversation holds potential for a much broader positive shift.
So healing one nervous system.
It's like tending the roots of future well-being. That's how they see it.
I love that. And the atmosphere in the practice.
Really warm, welcoming, deeply relational. Appointments are spacious. There's time for real conversation,
Even laughter or tears.
whatever needs to come up. Dr. Steve gets that true healing happens in that human connection. The nervous system responds best when it feels safe, seen, supported.
So whether it's a stressed teacher or a retired principal?
Everyone gets the sense that they're in a place where they truly matter.
Okay, those are fantastic examples. So if this whole making connections idea is really clicking for a chiropractor listening right now,
Hmm.
what are some practical things they can actually do?
Good question. Where do you start? Well, first, lead with genuine empathy. That's absolutely key.
Meaning,
Don't be afraid to show some real human emotion in your brand's voice. Connect by sharing heartfelt stories.
patient testimonials, maybe?
Yes, or even your own honest reflections on why you do this work, the impact you see.
Mm.
A really concrete first step. Share a compelling patient story on your homepage.
Or the About page. Yeah.
Or the About page, exactly. Make it visible.
Okay, what else? Community seems big here.
Huge.
Sure.
Building a strong sense of community is vital. Decide what fits you. Maybe it's a private Facebook group for patients.
Or hosting some in-person wellness workshops or events.
Sure. Or it could be simpler just making a really intentional effort to do more personal check-ins with people.
The main thing is your audience is often looking for that feeling of belonging.
Right. So an action step for this week. Maybe start a simple weekly community email. Or think about a virtual circle or even just an online forum. Something to keep conversations going.
Nurture those connections.
Exactly.
What about personalization? You mentioned that earlier.
Yes. Don't underestimate the power of personalization. Move beyond the standard stuff. Make patients feel truly special, individually recognized.
Like handwritten notes.
Handwritten thank you notes after a first visit. Gold. Or just remembering important milestones in their lives. Making a note of it.
How can you systematize that a bit?
Look at your patient management system, your CRM. Many have features to automate birthday reminders or other milestone check-ins. You can set it up to send a personalized message.
Okay, useful. And consistency.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Consistency in that warmth, that welcoming approach across everything.
Your colors, your images.
The actual tone of your writing on social media, in your emails. Make sure the whole brand experience feels emotionally cohesive, genuinely inviting.
So a practical step there.
Take some time this week. Audit your messaging. Look at everything: website, emails, social posts. Assess the tone. Where can you inject more warmth, more connection?
Good homework. Anything else?
One really important reminder. Being kind and connection-focused does not mean being passive.
Ah, right. You still need to lead.
You still need a clear point of view on health and wellness. And you absolutely need strong, clear calls to action.
Don't be afraid to guide people to the next step.
Exactly. Don't just hope they appreciate the connection. Inspire them to take action for their health. So review your current calls to action.
On the website, in emails.
Yeah. Can you strengthen them? Use more emotionally compelling language that actually inspires action, not just passive appreciation.
That's a great distinction. Okay, so ultimately, if you lead with this focus on genuine connection,
You're building so much more than just a client list. You're fostering real human relationships.
and in today's world, that authentic connection, that's what builds lasting loyalty. It turns patients into your biggest fans, your advocates.
Absolutely. And it's so vital to hammer this home. Having that softer brand, the one that prioritizes these meaningful human connections, it is not a weakness.
Say it again.
It's a significant strength.
Yeah.
Especially when you're serving the right audience, the people who deeply value that approach.
So if this deep dive, if this idea of making connections has really struck a chord with you,
We really encourage you. Take some time. Think seriously about how you can use these insights to refine your brand strategy. Amplify that connection with your patients.
and if you're maybe wondering which of the 4 superpowers, maybe it is making connections, or perhaps the clarity of providing structure, or the vision of inspiring greatness, if you're wondering which is the most natural fit for your practice.
I've got something for that.
Yeah, we have a quick, insightful quiz available on our website. It can help you uncover that primary superpower.
And we also offer the chance to schedule a personalized call. We can dig into your specific brand strategy in a lot more detail.
Definitely check those out if you're interested.
So our final thought for you today is this.
Yeah.
By truly embracing your brand's unique superpower, whichever one it turns out to be,
You have this incredible power, the power to create a brand that not only stands out really powerfully in a crowded field.
but also endures.
Yeah.
A brand that lasts over time and makes a truly meaningful difference in the lives of the people you serve.
Well said. And folks, don't forget to keep an eye out for our upcoming deep dives. We'll be exploring those other essential brand superpowers in this series.
Providing structure and inspiring greatness. Lots more to come.